Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of Intuitive Angling, and thanks for joining me for the competition day report for the BFL tournament down here at Table Rock that was today. Going to give you guys a rundown how my day went, and hopefully it'll help you guys learn something along the way there. Also guys, before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that if you haven't heard that about our Tackle Warehouse spring fishing sale that they got going on, and they got a bunch of good sales, guys, 25 and 30% off on a lot of different stuff at Tackle Warehouse. And I'll put my Tackle Warehouse spring sale link in the description of this video. If you guys need to order any tackle, using that link's a good way to support the channel, so much appreciated there. Okay guys, first day of the BFL Ozark Division Table Rock, better known as the Live Scopers Benefit Tournament, guys, because the Live Scopers whacked them today. It was I was almost in the last flight today, so I had my boat up on the beach. You know, we're getting our bags and waiting for our turn to weigh in, so I got to hear a lot of the weigh-in. Every dude that went across the scale, caught him Demiki rigging with my live scope, saw every fish bit with the live scope. Every fish that is in this bag, I saw him hit my Demiki rig. Next person, Demiki rig live scope, caught him live scoping with the Demiki rig, Demiki rig live scoping. Over and over and over again, guys. Live scope Demiki rig on Table Rock Lake. And they whacked them, guys. They absolutely whacked them today. It just goes to show you how the forward-facing sonar is, guys are getting so good at it and so adept at it that they are catching populations of fish here at Table Rock Lake that have never seen a lure before. I mean, absolutely. To catch those kind of fish, in February we had a post front day, guys. We had super cold, you know, north wind, and they still whacked them on the live scope. So anyway, I'll give you guys a rundown how my non-live scope day went. So anyway, the area I was fishing was probably about a 30-mile run. It was 20 degrees this morning when we took out, guys, so we ran 60 miles an hour for 30 miles. You can figure up the wind chill if you got a wind chill chart. What is 20 degrees with a 60-mile-an-hour wind? It was freaking cold, I'll tell you that. So we got up there, and anyway, guys, I don't know if you heard me saying, but I got paired with another boater. So let me preface this real quick here. I didn't even know this was a thing, but apparently in the tournament here at the BFL, they didn't have enough co-anglers, so they paired some guys boater on boater, and I was one of the guys that got another boater. And I heard them say on stage that a bunch of the guys got mad when they found out that they had to fish with another boater, and they went home. So anyway, I was boater on boater, which throws a wrench in the thing. So I called, you know, my boater last night, and he didn't know it either. We found out when we were talking on the phone that we were boater on boater together. So neither one of us was happy about it. He wasn't happy about it. I wasn't happy about it. But I just said, hey man, it is what it is. We got to make the best of it. Let's just go out. We're going to work as a team. You know, we'll both fish up front all day long, and we'll just make the best of it. So we talked about it, and we decided to go to my fish, you know, the fish that I've been catching in practice. So we made the commitment to do that. So we ran up there, guys, you know, got up there, you know, thawed out for about 5 minutes before we started fishing. And I was paralleling bluff banks with a mega bass jerkbait. That's how I was catching my fish. And so my partner, or my boater, was with me. We were both in the front of the boat side by side, and he catches two real quick right off the bat on a mega bass 110 plus 1 junior. So he's got two keepers right off the bat. And then I catch one on a jerkbait probably the first 30 minutes into it. Then he catches his third one, so he's got three in the boat on the jerkbait in the first hour. And then I wind up catching two more over about the course of the next probably 2 hours. So it's we both got three fish in the boat at about probably 10:30 or so. We both got three. And then we went through a little bit of a lull and caught quite a few small fish and everything. Doing the same thing, I was committed to running bluff banks with the jerkbait. I caught a ton of fish in practice doing it, and I just knew there was a lot of fish to be caught on it. So anyway, we kept running it, and we had about probably 2 hours left to fish, and pulled up on this other bluff, and I caught two more nice ones. So that gave me my limit. Probably had about 2 hours left to fish. And we ran a bunch of stuff, kept running, and it turned out he didn't catch another one, and I wound up catching a limit that weighed 10 pounds, 11 ounces. So the thing about this, I sort of want to go over a little bit to sort of give you guys something to learn from on this. If you take the live scope out of this tournament, and then you take the Alabama rig, because I heard a lot of guys catching them on an Alabama rig. I would be really curious to see what the weights in this tournament would be pre-Alabama rig and pre-live scope, because I thought it was pretty tough fishing. But the Alabama rig, I heard some guys were using it in conjunction with their forward-facing sonar, and between that and the Mickey rig, that was the whole story here. The conditions on the lake right now, the water temperature was in the mid 40s, so you had two different populations of fish. You had the populations that I was fishing for, which was up in the river areas, a little bit more stained water that were relating to steeper banks. Obviously smaller fish, those bigger ones had not moved up there yet, because all the big ones were still out in the middle of the lake suspended, because they caught them, you know, with that Demiki rig and the Alabama rig out in the middle of the lake. I talked to one of my friends that was a co-angler, and he said that's what they did all day long, is this pro, you know, is Demiki rigging, and he was throwing an Alabama rig, just fan casting it out in the middle of the lake out there. So it's a different world, guys. It really is. It's like this tournament, if this tournament would have been held 10 years ago, 15 years ago, pre-Alabama rig, pre-live scope, probably, I'm going to guess 13, 14 pounds would have won the tournament just with traditional techniques. But in the world we find ourselves in now, with the forward-facing sonar, and guys are getting so good at it, and all these little minnow baits that they're catching, there's no word for these fish to hide whatsoever out there. But anyway, I did find a link for my next tournament, so I'm not going to have to be concerned about having the boater on boater draws anymore. But as it turned out, guys, I'll get a little bit about it. I had a great time fishing with my partner today. We both was committed to making the best out of it. We both fished up front all day long. You know, we were both, you know, aware of giving the other person, you know, the maximum opportunity they could have to catch a fish. And it was enjoyable. It was. I was not looking forward to this today, but when we got out there today, you know, everything went smooth. It went good. You know, obviously, you know, when you're boater on boater, you got to have enough fish for two people. So it's not like I was just fishing for myself like most of the guys in the tournament were. I had to, you know, focus on, you know, getting around enough fish for both of us to catch them. But anyway, got out of the first one with a limit. Like I said, whole goal in this season is qualify for the regional, qualify for the All-American. So it was a start to it anyway. And feels good to be warm in the truck, because man, it has been cold. We had guides, the ice was frozen in our guides all day long. It's been a long time since I fished like that, guys. It never did get above freezing today, and literally you're having to dip your rod in the water about every you know 10 or 12 casts out there. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I got to get back to the house, and we'll talk later. See you.